I just had that carrot cake. It was hard. I was pretty anxious beforehand. I was kind of dreading it. I was like, I'll just have it tomorrow, but then my thoughts were just like, how will you fit it into your plan for tomorrow? When will you have it? Yeah, it was harder than I thought. I haven't had carrot cake for a long time. And even as I was eating it, my head was like, you don't even like this. Why are you making yourself eat this? Stop. Don't eat any more of this. Never make this again. But it tasted really good. Like, shut up, head. What was helpful though was when I was eating it, I watched a video and it was like completely unrelated to food, but the guy said, you have to do what makes you uncomfortable in order to grow. And I was like, perfect, because this is making me really uncomfortable right now, but it's gonna pay off in the future. I know that. So yeah. Got another piece of carrot cake. It's bigger this time, I think, which is good. Looks so good. Okay, gonna eat this. So, I want to talk about why I am challenging myself to eat cake. Last week it was my grandma's 85th birthday party, so we had a high tea for her, and my sister and I made a chocolate sponge with buttercream and ganache. And it was really delicious, but I was super anxious leading up to eating that cake, which was very annoying. So I realized I need to challenge myself to eat cake more often because Christmas is coming up, my birthday is after that, there's gonna be cake and I don't want to be anxious about it. I asked on my Instagram for some suggestions for cakes and the majority said carrot cake with cream cheese icing. My most feared cake. So that's what I'm having at the moment. But it's a good challenge because the only way to reduce my anxiety is to expose myself to it again and again and again. I also wanted to talk about the holidays in general, you know, leading up to the holidays when there's going to be a lot of food that's different and potentially foods that you've avoided in the past. It's tempting to restrict and compensate in some way by over-exercising or avoiding certain foods in the lead up, losing weight because you think you'll gain weight when you eat during Christmas or something like that. Restricting in the lead up to an event is basically just going to worsen your eating disorder. You'll be reinforcing the wiring in your brain that you should eat less or avoid certain foods before a special event. You'll basically be causing yourself unnecessary suffering because you don't need to restrict your intake, you don't need to over-exercise, you don't need to avoid certain foods before a party or going out to dinner or Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever. A few days of eating more food or eating more energy dense food, even if you gained weight, that would be okay. Like if you ate a lot over Christmas and you gained weight, or I ate a lot and I gained weight, that would be okay. Your weight doesn't need to stay the same. You might need to gain weight or you might be weight restored like I am, but your weight can fluctuate. Like it doesn't matter if it goes up a bit. It would matter if it went down, but it doesn't matter if you gain weight. Like for me in the past, I know that leading up to Christmas I've been like, well, I better eat like really healthy before Christmas and be really fit and in shape so that if I do gain weight then it's fine because I've compensated for that. and I would avoid eating sweet foods or something because I'm going to eat a lot of those at Christmas. But that does not work, because then you just get to Christmas Day and these tasty, delicious foods are presented to you, and you don't feel free to eat them because you've just avoided them for the past month, and so your brain now thinks that they're bad or off limits, or they've become feared foods again, and so you don't feel free at all on the day. And when you think about it, like it's one day, or it's one event, it's one meal, maybe it's a week of meals, but I remember in the depths of my eating disorder, the year would just be broken up into these stressful situations like Christmas, and then birthday, and then someone else's birthday, a graduation ceremony, a party, and all the time you're just preparing to enjoy these events by compensating. So you end up spending like 2 weeks or a month preparing, living in eating disorder hell, trying to compensate for these events. There's no point. There's no sense in that. This is your life. You deserve to enjoy it. Like, I always think to myself, live the life you ultimately want to live. Does that life involve restricting and over-exercising and compensating? No, absolutely not. That life involves cake whenever I want it, chips whenever. It involves going to parties, going to events and joining in, and eating the pecan pie at Thanksgiving or the Christmas cake at Christmas time. So compensation, restricting, as logical as it might seem to your eating disorder, is not the logical solution to prepare for a holiday. What is a good idea is to continue fighting hard in recovery, unrestricted eating, losing the eating disorder rituals, resting, eating lots, gaining weight. Yeah, nourish your mind and your body so that your brain is not starved, and then it will be easier at these events to see clearly and see that, hey, I can actually eat this food and everything will be fine, and if I gain weight, that's fine. Challenge yourself repeatedly to the foods that scare you. So cake still scares me a bit, and I know that at parties and birthdays there's going to be cake, so I'm having cake over and over again so that it's no big deal when the time comes at Christmas. It will just be like, oh yeah, there's some cake, I can eat that. I've eaten it like every day for the past couple of weeks. That's all good. Maybe also tell someone how you're feeling leading up to like Christmas, and check in with them throughout the day. If it's helpful, you could ask them to portion out your food. Yeah, last Christmas I got help with portioning my food because I couldn't do it myself. I was too overwhelmed, and that's okay. It's okay to ask for help. Remind yourself of healthy coping skills that you can use that are not compensating. For deep breathing, maybe doing a mindfulness meditation the day of the event, journaling, writing down your thoughts, writing down your fears, reminding yourself why you are committed to recovery and trying your best to join in. As well, treat yourself with self-compassion. Like, holidays are hard. I think they're pretty hard for everyone, to be honest. Like, quite stressful. People put a lot of pressure on themselves for events to go really well. There's extended family that you might not have seen for a while. There can be some tension and family drama. Yeah, take deep breaths. Remind yourself that it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try your best, and that's good enough. Finally, one more point. The next day, don't compensate, okay? Don't do that. So that's basically what I wanted to say. It's okay to eat a lot of food. It's okay to eat a lot of different food. It's okay to eat chips and cake and whatever you might have feared or might be fearing now. All those foods They're delicious and you only live once, so make the most of them. And if there are certain foods that you know are going to be presented at an event, then I really, really urge you to challenge yourself to eat them ahead of time. Really helps a lot. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll record again hopefully next week. Okay, bye.